Okay. Uh, Wait, hold on. Okay, we live. So I guess let's like really have like a conversation of like the research behind the I Am event series Disability, Art, Life, and Culture. And maybe I can start off by stating my objectives in doing the I Am event series. Like my first objective is to teach BIPOC people with disabilities of how to use their skills and talents and creativities to create opportunities for themselves and to create high-end and luxury events for BIPOC people with disabilities and bring disability inclusion awareness first started in the South Shore community here in the south side of Chicago and beyond and beyond. So, like, those are some of the main points of, of my reason for doing the I Am event series Disability, Art, Life, and Culture. So, and I know like you are also working on me with creating like the disability resource guide. So, can you tell us a little bit about like the work you are doing there?
Sure, sure. So the reason why I was brought up on board with the project is because I really wanted to create a disability resource guide where it's not only teaching people about disability, but I really want to dive into providing resources for Black disabled folks in historically Black neighborhoods or neighborhoods of color in general. And so normally when we get disability resources, it's usually about getting the diagnosis, getting transportation settled, or the accessible tools that you need to live independently or have a full life or whatnot. We also dive into disability typical guide, which is fine. However, what's missing also is resources that is tailor made specifically for our communities. Often it's not in there. We have to either go online or outside the city just to get resources specifically for um, disabled people of color, especially disabled Black folks. In our case, we are creating a guide that not only outlines the resources you may get for housing, entrepreneurship, and such, but also just to give Black folks a little bit of a history, if you may, on what disability is, not only from the physical standpoint, but also from a society standpoint as well, especially in Black and Brown communities, as well as getting into the fact that disabled Black folks have, it's not new. We have been around for ages. In fact, many of the there's a section where we list examples of celebrities, Black celebrities with disabilities. It's a lot of them. For instance, the greatest basketball player in the history, Michael Jordan, ADHD. You have a governor. He was the governor in New York, blind. We also have like many actors and musicians with many disabilities, ranging from blindness, deaf or hard of hearing, to anything with neurodivergence or mental health or developmental disabilities. So disability always been there. In fact, we need to uplift more of our heroes and tell not just what they do, but also the fact that they have a disability needs to be felt as
Yeah,
well.
yes, and I want to add like on the fact that like cuz like just being black and having disability and being that sector, we have to deal with like racism and ableism. Like and I know just from the fact like from my personal experience of like get more comfortable in accepting like my disability and working in the disability community and experiencing racism and the fact of how like black people are erased like when in fact the American the ADA Act is was created because of the civil rights movement, because of the Black Panther Party. All the black people is like freaking erased. And then you have these white disability organizations saying that like disability is like the biggest minority group because anybody can become a part of it at any time. In reality, they using black people and other people of color to push their agenda to put white people with disability at the forefront. And I learned that, and I'm like, no, no, I'm all about that blackness.
I
The
agree with you.
yeah, cause I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blacker than
Because you be like, y'all black, y'all.
yes, yes, and like, and this is like the thing. Like, I'm so thankful. Like, I work with you because, like, our whole mission is to make like being black and disabled the cool thing. Because it's not nothing to be ashamed of. It's just we just show up in society differently, and it's just the fact society isn't accessible.
It is not at all. In fact, I wish I could have like um summarized even more what we doing as far as the guide. But you could say in a sense when you talk about the fact that there is a need to basically not only say blackness and disability exists, but blackness and disability thrives everywhere. The reason why that we are creating the disability guide, which will be up hopefully in the fall, is because disability culture is not just mainstream. There's a whole bunch of different parts of disability culture, and Black disability culture must be shown. So we must show people who are doing great things in the Black disability community the resources that we have to not only make them feel empowered and healthy and well, but also have a chance at entrepreneurship. I'm personally taking the page from Booker T. Washington, where in a Black disability community sense, our focus, yes, while we are still focusing on our civil rights as Black disabled folks, we are mainly focusing on empowering our community through either providing independent living resources, cultural resources, or even the opportunity to build their own businesses so we could generate money for ourselves and our culture.
Yes, because the fact that like even though like I don't get SSI like because they be on some bull stuff, but just the fact that like two people that have disabilities that have SSI, they get married, they funds get cut in half. Or like when I was having a conversation with you and the other people at LYLP, and y'all was saying like how challenging it is for people on SSI to get life insurance and all of these challenges and hurdles. And I'm just thinking like we still in the middle of like a pandemic. And you still giving like what the heck 700 almost $800 a month gonna do, and then if you make got a job and you make more money they gonna cut you off like
That doesn't make sense. And I think to be honest, that's why again I am all for fighting for making SSI more easier to apply for, and of course getting more money and getting more out of government benefits as disabled folks. What really needs to happen in our communities is sustaining ourselves. Governments may change or whatever. They may give us more, they may give us less. We see it play out in the Trump administration, where the powers to be in that administration was basically trying to get rid of all that we fought for.
Mm.
However, if we go back to the Harlem Renaissance, even before then, or even the 1970s, where we place the emphasis on building our own black businesses, then we could do the same for building our own businesses, our culture, our own identity from a cultural and financial standpoint as black disabled people.
Yes.
Perhaps we could get the power that we want in our communities that could translate eventually to having the full civil rights.
Yes, like because we only got like 3 more minutes left, and I want to touch on like two topics, and like kind of like piggyback off what you were saying of like taking ownership of telling our own narrative, because I remember back in 2019 or 2018, I had applied for SSI, and they rejected me because they told me according to their standards I'm not classified as disabled.
Yes, that goes back to how SSI and SSDI works is this. And keep in mind that rules haven't really changed for like years and years and years. It's been for physical disability, and it goes off of also the ability to work physically,
Mm.
even if you need a jungle of accommodations, and there's some jobs you may not even work because of your disability and all the accommodations that it takes. But as long as you look fit, especially if you fit the description of a race that's supposed to work hard, like black folks, then you're not getting jack. And I
Mm.
think it's unfair that we live in a system where even though some of us really can't work, we still get discounted because of our race and the stereotype that comes with being black, and especially black and disabled. So I think that's why when we are doing the guide, yes, again we're addressing here's how you could get SSI, but it's more about here's how you put money in your own pocket so that you don't have to rely on them as much or any other system that
Yeah.
bad to fail us.
And I want to end on this statement, like, because we both fall under the category of being neurodivergent, and just the power of like creativity that like black people with disability had. Because when we go back all the way from like the when our ancestors was enslaved, and the fact that like the ancestors that had physical disability, mental impairment, blind, they were still enslaved all the way to the 1960s after 1865. And the fact a lot of them, the only work they could get was in the freak shows, and how like the entertainment industry is so vital for people with disability, especially neurodivergence, because we got greats like Octavia Butler. She had dyslexia. Kanye, I don't care what nobody said, Kanye West is a freaking genius. He got bipolar disorder. Missy Ellis, she got Graves syndrome that fall under chronic illness.
Mm-hmm.
Will I am got ADHD. What's the guy from the Roots that got autism?
Questlove.
Yeah, and just like how important it is while I'm building this out to create a more inclusive society where it is where we all can be free, and especially for the people who are neurodivergent and chronic illness, because people been sleeping on us. But I'm just saying, all this good dope ass art come from people who are neurodivergent. I'm just saying.
It's been proven all over and over again that we've been killing in arts and literature and other endeavors since beginning of time.
Yeah. So I guess that's the mic drop because look, 3 minutes over and I gotta go to the last session. So thank you, TJ. Stay dope. Neurodivergent power.
Likewise,
Yes. May the force be with you.
always.
Yes.